of service issue for you and for the county commission. So don't be clouded in the emotion of your community is clearly behind, when I say community, I mean Citrus County, is clearly behind the curve on delivering services. And so it's painful when you have to deal with catch-up. The issues that you face tonight as a city are exactly what your city attorney hit on, and that is that, again, in hindsight, in order to achieve local legislation where one body has to consent, it's, in hindsight, wise to have gone to the consenting body first instead of driving the truck down to September 30th and adopting the budget and then showing up and saying it's pay me now or pay me later. But I will tell you that I did review the report that was given to me that was prepared by Government Services Group. And this is an issue that was laid out in the report as early as May. And the issue simply said, if the city doesn't participate, that they will invoice you. Now, and I'm not asking for Heather to answer this, I'm asking for the county attorney to answer this. And that, what is the plan if you're invoiced and you don't pay? Because you do pay a 1 mil tax on a 05 district, it's not an MSBU, and the sheriff, he won't turn his back on you, I can tell from his body language. But there's a duty to serve. And so there's a pickle here. And so if you're going to air the laundry, let's hear what the plan was if the city says, no, we won't pay. That's either rhetorical or it can answer here or now.
I already did say that.
No, I'm asking for a legal answer.
I'm not an attorney, so I'll defer to it.
Okay? I mean, it's fair to ask a question, and it's not intended to be argumentative, but it is intended to educate.
Richard Wesch, County Attorney. In response to the question, I would have to take our options back to the Board of County Commissioners. And they would have to outline what course of conduct they would want to undertake to address this circumstance. What I can tell you, however, and hopefully your two attorneys will tell you, is the fact that we've created an MSBU. The county has an obligation to treat the members of that MSBU fairly as well. And what I can represent to you is the current circumstance of the members of the BU providing funding for services that go beyond the scope of what they're being asked to contribute toward cannot continue going forward. We must address this situation. The cost of these services are going up. It was clear to the Board of County Commissioners that the ad valorem millage method was not sufficient to fund fire services going forward, and they chose another method. That method was the MSBU for the reasons outlined by our counterparts here this evening, because it was deemed to be the fairer and more equitable method of funding these services. Now, the problem that we face is the city can either opt in, or as the sheriff stated, we'll have to pursue other alternatives. But I can represent to you that because of our duty to the benefit unit, the current circumstance cannot continue into the future unaddressed. Thank you.
I'll take that as they don't know, because that report said they would invoice you, and you have a legal issue here that you're going to have to decide. I'm not going to tell you that I know the answer to. I'm going to tell you didn't hear an answer there. You hear a policy statement. And we're all friends here, but what I was asked to do by your management was to focus on the issues of the consequences of your choices and what you're faced with here. So I don't know the answer. They may give you an invoice, and they may decide not to serve. I don't think the sheriff will not serve you. I think that that's a problem with having an 05, a 125, 01, 05 voted millage that is now approaching 40 years old in a community that has changed precipitously over the last 40 years.